Hello my friends, we are going to see together how to build OpenSSL on Windows. The current issue is that I am designing a brute force program to brute force some hashing algorithm. So there are already existing some brute force program on the market, like for example Hashcat. What is interesting is that I want to design myself this program in C#. And in C# with Microsoft.NET, you have some already existing implementation of different hashing algorithm. I have some performance issue. I want to increase the performance throughput of my brute force program. And for this reason, I am trying to look for alternatives of implementation, and OpenSSL is the way to go to try to, when you look for an encryption algorithm. And OpenSSL is designed more to be built on Linux. So we are going to see if it is possible, and it is possible to build on Windows, to follow the steps. And then in this episode or in one following, we'll see together how to isolate the hash component to be able to export it inside a DLL, which my C# program will be able to load in order to perform the brute force attack. So OpenSSL is a standard way to go for different encryption algorithms. There is a GitHub page where you see here there is a full source code which is available. What is great is that in the crypto folder you have the different encryption algorithm like the DES, and what interests me is for the moment the MD5, even if MD5 is known as being obsolete and should be replaced by SHA-1, the SHA series, or RIPE. For example, here you have a little C code, we have the MD5 code. Okay, so there is it is possible to build on Linux, and there is different pages, different YouTube videos also which explain how to build this. So we are going to see together to follow the steps. Here is an interesting page, an Refinitiv page, which displays how to build the OpenSSL on Windows. So I am going with you to follow the steps to see if it is possible. So first you should download the full OpenSSL library, which I have already done, and it is there, okay? And I have created a commit, initial commit, and committed all the files to see the different modifications during the installation. Microsoft Visual Studio is already installed for myself. And by the way, I have forgot to present myself. I am Thierry Bremard, Senior Software Engineer, working since more than 10 years in C# development software. You can contact me on LinkedIn. And also, if you would like me to review your source code, you can contact me and submit your GitHub. So for my side, Microsoft Visual Studio version 2019 is already installed, but I have not Perl and I have not NetWide Assembler installed. So let's look together. So first step is download and decompress the OpenSSL source code package. This is done. Configure the package to follow these steps. The Perl and ASM directory must be added to the path environment variable. So here in fact there is already installed the Perl, so I need to install this. So let's go to the Strawberry Perl website. I am on 64-bit, so let's download this, and I will build everything for 64 bits because I am not a prehistoric man. Welcome to setup, next, licensing, I accept, next, see Strawberry, next, install, do you want, yes. So the Perl module with Strawberry is being installed. Okay, it's finished. And now let's come back to the checking to check the version. I should do Perl -v on a command prompt. So open a new command prompt to take in consideration every new environment variables. Perl -v. Okay, Perl -v is recognized. There is a version which is displayed, so it means this is inside the path. Good. Now continue and let's install the NetWide Assembler NASM, which is assembly, which is an assembler. So let's click on the download menu. Let's take the last version here, to 16.01. I am on Windows 64-bit and I want the NASM installer 64-bit, so I select this one. Okay, open it like this, run as admin. Let's be crazy. Yes. Install for anyone. Yes, yes, yes. Install. Completed. Close. Good. And now let's open a new command prompt to take in consideration the new environment variables. And we should type NASM -v. It is not recognized. So let's come back to the article. NASM -v is not recognized where I should have the correct version. So it is meaning that it is not correctly inside the path. So it has been installed in program files NASM. Let's check this. See program files NASM is there. So here I will take this one, open my PC, properties, env, edit the system environment variables, system variables, path, edit, new, stack. I am pasting the new ASM line, and you see that the strawberry has been automatically inserted. So I am manually inserting the NASM. Okay, okay, okay. Let's open a new command prompt again, because you need to create a new command prompt to take in consideration the new variables. NASM -v. Okay, now the NASM is recognized. Good. So let's continue the manual. NASM is installed, bin open SSL libraries. So I have downloaded the OpenSSL, configure the package. So the variables are already in the path. We have checked this, perl -v, NASM -v are working. Okay, I have the same output. From the previous step, all files extracted in the OpenSSL directory run the native x64. Okay, so now we need to run the native 64 tool command prompt for Windows Visual Studio. So let's open the native. Let's look at this native. Okay, native tool command prompt for Visual Studio. And if you do not have this, review your installation of Visual Studio. Maybe the answer is inside this. I will not spend time on this today. So now I have the same command prompt on. Let's check to justify why it is needed, because I think there is a tool which is called nmake, like this. Yes, nmake is recognized. So this is a command that, in fact, if I use a normal command prompt like this one, nmake, is not recognized. So this is why you need this 64 native tools command prompt of Windows Studio. And inside it, normally, I already have the path of the other tool, like NASM -v, it is recognized, and perl -v, it is also recognized. So in this command prompt, I have the perl, I have the NASM, and I have the Visual Studio make, which is useful to build the C code. Then run the config command to configure the OpenSSL source package. Perl configure. Okay, so what it is? Yes, you must move to the correct directory. So let's go to the directory of OpenSSL like this. I come back to the native tool. I change directory like this, and I go to the D drive. Good. Let's see. Yes, I can zoom in so you see better. Like this. Okay. CLS. Good. Now comes the interesting thing. Open perl configure VC Win64. This means I want to configure for 64. Prefix equal. Let's say this should be the current directory where there is all the source. Let's copy only the prefix and I will pass the current folder like this. And for the prefix, I will put this like this and press enter. So now it is configuring with the Perl module. And the Perl module, I think, is there to create some files, maybe making some header also, so that everything is ready for the real compilation on the target machine. So here I am on Windows, 64 bits, and everything here is made on the fly. So OpenSSL admin is successfully configured. And let's look, because I have created a commit, what has been changed in this directory. You see that the PM file has been created. There is 4 files which has been created. The PM file, here you see some, it's looking like a YAML file here. Oh, it's very long. Wow. Okay. So this is quite, oh, what is interesting also is the header configuration.h. If you try to build the C code, you will encounter some issue if you do not run this Perl script, because in fact the configuration.h header is mandatory, and I can show it to you there. My Visual Studio in fact has some issue I have tried to build before running this Perl script, and you see that the configuration.h is not found. So now it is created. Then there is a makefile which has been created, and you see the platform is Win64. Okay, good. On the makefile.in. Good. So I can stage all this file, and I write that the Perl module has been run, and I commit. Good. Let's continue to follow the guidelines. Yes, I run the configure command with the following options. The option prefix, the top of the installation directory tree, the OpenSSL libraries will be created in this directory. Okay, so I will create this. Okay. We have the same output. For other option, read the install. I don't want to look at the other options. Build the OpenSSL libraries. Run the nmake command to build the OpenSSL libraries. On the OpenSSL binary, OpenSSL, run the nmake. And you see now, because I am here with the native tools, the nmake is available. Let's clear the screen and make. And then it says, wow, it is very long. You see, I have started a chronometer. This is more than 1 minute that this script is running. And let's continue to see how long it is taking. Okay, it has been finished, and the counter indicates 9 minutes of execution. And let's continue the web page. Here the libraries will be built to the top level directory, and the binary will be inside the apps subdirectory. So let's check this. Is there. Here you see the library in the top level directory. Okay, and let's look at the apps directory. Whoa, okay, OpenSSL exe is there with a lot of stuff. Let's look at the commit. It looks that a lot of file has been generated here. Wow, so here you see the full apps directory which has been added. So let's put a filter, apps. Okay, so all the apps directory has been built. Normally, you should not commit binary, but here, for the purpose of the demonstration, I am going to commit this to see everything which has been built. And also, it takes 10 minutes to generate. Let's stop the counter. Okay, and by the way, I am using the XoClock chronometer. You can see on my GitHub XoClock program. Let's commit this. And then remove this filter to see all the other things. The app.pdb has been generated. Okay, curious. Then the crypto AES ASM. Oh, you see there is some ASM file which has been generated inside the crypto folder. Crypto AES, a lot of ASM files. Yes, for the architecture 64-bit. Then .object has been created in the crypto AES. Okay, so you look at the different. Let's look at what interests me is MD5. Let's look at crypto MD5. So yes, you see, for example, for the MD5, the object has been built. x64 object on the ISM file MD5 ISM has been also generated. Okay, good. So it looks that everything is inside the crypto. Let's commit this directory and commit this. And look at what has also been generated. There is the engine subdirectory also. Engines, the fuzz subdirectory also. Provider subdirectory, SSL subdirectory, SSL record tests. A lot of tests has been generated. And now let's check the OpenSSL binary to run some command. So I open a new command prompt. I go to the apps subdirectory, run OpenSSL, and you see that the different functions are available. Standard commands, message digest commands, for example, cipher commands. So here you see the different hashing algorithms which are enumerated there. There is MD5, but also all the SHA series. MD5, for example, let's say OpenSSL MD5 Toto. Okay, Toto, no such file or directory. This means that it is expecting some file which is called Toto. So let's create a file toto.txt in the D drive and say I want the hash of the D drive toto.txt. Okay, so it looks that OpenSSL is working. At least I have a demonstration here by computing the MD5 hash with OpenSSL. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Don't forget to click on the like button if you liked it. Write down in the comments if I have helped you, and see you later for my investigation of the C# program which tries to brute force the MD5 hashing algorithm. And this will be particularly interesting because I am with the i7 processor with 16 cores. And don't forget to visit my YouTube channel with different playlists. I have different subjects from C# development, Amazon product reviews, radio control cars, and also a beautiful series of kitchen renovation. Bye!